Good afternoon, West in the world. It is Tuesday, October the 6th, and this is your final review video before our first exam this coming Thursday. I didn't get a video made last week, at the end of the week, when we discussed the scientific revolution. So today I want to try to see if I can put together a few thoughts for you on the scientific revolution and the Enlightenment as agents of significant change in the world. So the scientific revolution, which we sort of dated back to the debate over geocentrism and heliocentrism in the 16th and early 17th centuries, revolved around the wrestling of people like Nicholas Copernicus and Kepler and Galileo over the question of whether the world, the universe really, was geocentric, that is earth-centered, or as the church had taught and as the ancient Greeks had believed, or whether it was sun-centered, which we now accept today as established scientific reality, despite the fact, of course, that it in many ways goes against our common sense. And of course, in the 16th century, it was much more than a debate over common sense versus mathematical principle. It had become, of course, a matter of official church dogma, that the Catholic Church had adopted this position of geocentrism as representative of God's created order, that the circular orbits of planets were seen as this reflection of God's character. The biblical text was read in ways that proved that the geocentric model was the right model. And all of this made it very difficult for people to reconcile themselves to this heliocentric model. And so in that way, this new scientific knowledge, which soon spread beyond astronomy to fields of physics in general, to the exploration of the human body and anatomy and many other areas, began to shake up the established order, and because of the vulnerability of the church in light of the Protestant Reformation and so much more, it was not well received at all, and the trial of Galileo before the Inquisition is the kind of centerpiece of that crisis. The scientific revolution, in turn, we said, gave birth to the Enlightenment. In the figure of people like Isaac Newton, you have this kind of combination of scientific thinker, but also public intellectual, even celebrity, who carries influence well beyond the spheres of science. And so today in class we looked at how different Enlightenment thinkers challenged the established order of their time. We saw Immanuel Kant's sort of provocative call for freedom of thought and expression, his desire, his earnest desire for humans to be free to use their reason, their rationality in all things. We talked about Adam Smith and his challenge to the economic order of his day. We talked about Mary Wollstonecraft and how she sort of challenged the notion that women were basically inferior to men. We talked even about John Wesley and how the Methodist revival is an expression of sort of Enlightenment self-development as well as reason or regular practice as a way of transformation. In all of these things, what we see is that sort of Enlightenment commitment to changing the world, to pursuing freedom of expression, and its sort of sense of the growth of the individual, the person who is improving themselves and thereby improving their world. In that way, of course, it is in another stage, another development within that same thread of what we identified first as Renaissance humanist thought, and that we've seen carrying on from that time. All of these various challenges are bringing us to the cusp of the era of the Atlantic revolutions, the American, the French, the Haitian revolutions, and more, which is what we'll be talking about after the next test. But what we need to know for now is simply that the challenge is a tremendous one, and that the order of absolute monarchs and an established Catholic Church and established Christian churches in general is very much coming to a close. those are things for the future. Good luck with your final preparations for Thursday's exam. I'll see you on Thursday morning.